That's my different that's my opening right there. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll tell you this, it's definitely more entertaining than anything in the Emoji Movie. Hey guys, the Black Critic Guy, and yeah, I'm doing something a bit different right now because as I told you in my live chat yesterday, my internet here is really slow. The people aren't coming to fix it until Monday, so in order for me to get my reviews out, I think I need to do live reviews of them. And so, welcome to the first, and hopefully not something that's going to be reoccurring, live review / rant on the Lego Wreck-It Emoji Movie. So, what is the Emoji Movie about? I'm pretty sure you all know what the Emoji Movie is about, but for those who have yet to see any trailers or be on the internet at all, the Emoji Movie basically is about this one emoji named Gene, who is a meh emoji. You know, the guy that's like, meh, I don't really care about things. But apparently, he has other feelings. He can be happy and sad and depressed and excited and lovey-dovey and all that stuff. And he goes to his first day of work and he screws up royally, which causes the user of the phone to want to go and get his phone fixed because he thinks it's broken or something. And he goes on this quest to kind of fix himself. He meets up with this other female emoji named Jailbreak, and also teams up with a hand, played by James Corden. And yeah, that's the movie. It's let's go on an adventure. It's basically, I feel like when I was watching the movie, the creators of this film sat with each other and said to themselves, hey, remember the Lego Movie? Remember how great that movie was? Remember how much effort and how creative that film was? What if we took that film and we kind of blended in with Wreck-It Ralph, right? This whole idea of a hub world and you could travel to different places, right? Let's combine it with that, but completely half-ass it all the way through. Just from beginning to end, we're gonna half-ass every single bit of it. That is the Emoji Movie in a nutshell. In a nutshell. Now, when they announced that they were doing the Emoji Movie, I'm not gonna lie, I was like the rest of the internet. I'm like, why are they doing this? How is this a thing? You're gonna make a movie about emojis. What? How in the world are you going to make a movie about emojis? And how could you possibly make that? How could you make that entertaining without it coming off as a cash grab and coming off as uncreative and just pandering to the nth degree? And you know what? After seeing the movie, and I actually got to see it earlier than most people because Guam gets movies earlier than America, but after seeing the entirety of the film, it's exactly what I thought it was going to be. It's the most accurate foretelling of a film I've ever done on this channel. I, going into the film, knew that it was going to be uncreative, uninspired, pandering bullshit. And what it turned out to be was uninspired, uncreative, pandering bullshit. In fact, I even said it in a live Instagram post I made that this film is the perfect representation of today's generation, of the millennial generation. It's just basically pandering bullshit. That's what it is. It's pandering bullshit. And it just, I would be more mad had I expected more from the film. But the thing is, I really didn't. And no one should ever expect anything from this film. You go into this film knowing that it's bad. There's really very little to say about the film that's good. I do have a couple things, believe it or not. There are some good things about this film. Two in particular. The best thing about this film, no lie, the best thing, are Gene's parents, Mr. and Mrs. Meh. By the way, don't mind the roosters that they crow all the time. Mr. and Mrs. Meh, voiced by Stephen Wright and Jennifer Coolidge, who in my opinion, are the perfect people to voice these characters. In fact, the casting of Stephen Wright as Mr. Meh, stroke of genius. It's the only sort of brilliance that this film has ever done. Like, it's the only brilliant thing this film has. the casting of Stephen Wright. That is the most perfect casting I've ever seen. I'm trying to think of all, like, it's the most perfect casting I've seen for a character since Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury. Mwah! Whoever thought of that, whoever was in the writer's room saying, okay, who's ever in the creator's room saying to themselves, okay, who do we cast as the parents? Stephen Wright. We gotta get Stephen Wright immediately. He's not doing anything. Let's get him in. For those of you who don't know who Stephen Wright is, Stephen Wright was a very popular comedian in the 80s and 90s, and he had this sort of meh delivery. He just seemed so unengaged, and it looked like he didn't really give a fuck about anything. And that was his delivery. That was his shtick. And it worked for him. You might remember him as the voice of the radio guy in Reservoir Dogs. He was also in the Swan Princess. He played the turtle, and he also was the sleeping neighbor in it's the Dave Chappelle movie, Half Baked. He was that guy in Half Baked, basically. Anyway, the casting of Stephen Wright and Jennifer Coolidge were perfect, and their characters were the funniest characters in the film. I'm not even kidding, guys. Every scene with Mr. and Mrs. Meh were perfect. Like the scene where he's like, "Son, are you really wanting to do this right now? Do you really want to be in the board?" "Yeah, Dad, I want to be in the board." "Okay, what do you think, honey?" "I don't know if I should really, I don't think he's ready for it." And sometimes they would have conversations with each other, and like Mrs. Meh would be like, "Mr. Meh, I'm getting really angry with you right now." "Don't be like that, honey. It's really unbecoming of you." I was laughing because they kept the Meh persona throughout the entire film, yet they were trying to express other emotions. And you know what's another beautiful thing about the film too? Is that they're in it more. I thought they were only going to show up at the beginning of the film and then that was it. We're never going to see them again. But no, they play a vital role in the film, and they even go on the journey. Like when Gene decides to leave, the parents are just like, "Well, I guess we better go find him then." And then they go on their journey, and there's this little side story following them as they're trying to find their son, and they kind of get into like this little fight squabble, and they break up and then reunite together. I'm not kidding. If Mr. and Mrs. Meh were the main characters of this film would have worked because they are perfect. They were the funniest parts of the film. They were the best parts. They were the most well-written parts of this film, too. The other thing that I think is good about the film is the animation, which in this day and age, to praise animation is kind of no-brainer. Yes, of course, the animation's going to be good. If your animation quality is shit, nobody's going to watch it. Although, I mean, people went to go see Polar Shit, so I guess even if your animation is shitty, people will go see it. But most people, They expect good animation. Those are the only two good things about the film. Mr. and Mrs. Meh and the animation. So what did I hate about the film? Where do I begin? I guess we'll begin with just the overall film. As I mentioned earlier in this video, this film is just, it's so uninspired that it's kind of painful and embarrassing. I really felt like the people who made this film just watched the Lego Movie, bits and pieces of Wreck-It Ralph, and they just smushed them together and made this film. Because it's literally almost not shot for shot, but almost like if you were to take the screenplay of the Lego Movie and compare it to the screenplay of the Emoji Movie, they are very identical. Down to its main characters, the main antagonists, the whole idea of like this special somebody, this world where like humans sort of interact with it. Again, it's a mix of Lego Movie and Wreck-It Ralph in my opinion, because the whole like phone world, Texopolis, reminds me a lot about the hub world in Wreck-It Ralph, where the games go after everyone leaves and stuff. But it really is an uninspired version of the Lego Movie, and that's really all it comes off as. I really feel like they saw the Lego Movie and said, we need to do that. We need to do that right now. Because it starts off with a main character who's average, I guess so. Yeah, average, I would say. And he's but he has something special about. There's something special about this guy. And then he embarks on a journey to kind of find himself in a sense and, make himself worthy. And he goes through the trials and tribulations. And, okay, the character, oh my god, the character of Jailbait, please tell me that Jailbait does not look like Wild Style. Do not tell me she does not look like Wild Style. I mean, come on. The hipster hair, or the colored dyed hair, the fact that she's always like, I don't need to be helped, or all that stuff, I'm tough, all this stuff. I swear to God, I felt like I was watching Wild Style all of a sudden. Was it Wild Style or Wildfire? I think it's Wild Style. But basically, Jailbait is a ripoff of Wild Style. I don't know why I didn't put both of the, two and two together. It only rung true to me when I was watching the movie and I was seeing her personality and then the hair. The hair should have been a dead giveaway. The hair should have been a dead giveaway. The fact that they have the same type of hair where it's kind of like dyed out and they're these adventurous, tough people. I should have been like, they're copying Wild Style, you assholes. But yeah, so the story is just, it's uninspired. And it's just not engaging. I thought at least the story would be some sort of fun. It's supposed to be this adventure film. But the problem is that it comes off so pandering that it doesn't even have an inkling of a story. You know what the story is basically? Oh, hey, we're emojis. Oh, hey, look, there's the Facebook app. Oh, hey, look, there's the YouTube app. Oh, hey, look, there's the Spotify app. Hey, look, is that what I think it is? It's Just Dance. Let's go to Dropbox. It's name dropping to the nth degree. And it feels like corporate shilling. That's what it feels like. It's corporate shilling constantly. Just because they got all these name brands, they decide that they're gonna use it. But instead of being clever, witty, and creative with it, they just say, hey, look, there's YouTube. Ma and Pa Meh, when they're going to find their son, they find the YouTube app. They walk into the YouTube app, and they're playing, I shit you not, Pineapple Pen, Pineapple, what the fuck ever it's called. A meme that's been dead for almost a year. Nobody gives a shit about that. And it's playing prominently on the screen. It plays for like 30 seconds. And I'm like, you're so late to the party that it's so embarrassing. It is so embarrassing right now. Take that off the screen. Even worse, though, is that there's these bots who I swear to God, they are a ripoff. Again, to go back to the Lego movie, they are a ripoff of the little micromanagers from the Lego film, or the Lego movie. They're the ripoff, and they're even black and have red dots and stuff like that, just like the micromanagers. Oh, God, this movie is just a fucking ripoff. I'm calming down. Anyway, so Ma and Pa Meh go into the YouTube app, and they're watching the pineapple video, and then the micromanager ripoffs come in to find them, and they're like, oh, I got the perfect idea to distract them. What do they play on the screen on YouTube? Guess. What's one thing people always pair with YouTube? When they think YouTube, what comes to mind? What type of videos come to mind? I'll let the comments tell me. What do you think they played on the screen to distract the micromanager ripoffs? Exactly, Wins, Ron, Shelly, cat videos. It's the one where someone's tickling the cat and go, woo! And they're like, wah, wah, wah. And I'm like, lazy. You're so lazy. I couldn't. It's such a cheap shot at humor that it's to think 3 people wrote this film. There was a team of writers working on this film. That's the best that they could come up with. Fortunately, a virtual conductor, nobody dabs in the film. Thank the Lord, nobody dabs in the film. Let's talk about the characters. Besides Ma and Pa Meh, I didn't care about any of the characters, especially the main characters. In fact, of the 3 main characters, I guess Wild Style ripoff or the 99-cent version of Wild Style is the only one I kind of liked, but other than that, didn't give a shit about any of them. And how's this for a shocking thing? So TJ Miller is the main character. He voices the main character in this film. How is it that a film that stars TJ Miller as the main character, or how do I phrase this? Okay, so how is it that the main character voiced by TJ Miller is actually not the most annoying character in this film? I hated TJ Miller ever since he first got on the scene. I have no idea how he's so popular and why people like him so much. He's not funny. He's not funny. He feels like a try-hard comedian or comedic actor. Like, he tries so desperately to be funny and likable, but it just backfires where he's not even hilarious. And in this film, this has to be the most unhilarious I've seen him so far. And that's saying a lot. I've seen him in many films, and none of those films ever made me say, man, that guy was funny. Even Deadpool. When he was in Deadpool, I'm like, you're the weakest part of Deadpool. But I found it perplexing that the character that he voices in the film was not that annoying. In fact, he was manageable. The most annoying character, surprisingly, was High Five. High Five. I have something for High Five. Up yours, buddy. James Corden, buddy, I don't hate you, but at the same time, I'm not a huge fan of you. But my goodness, buddy, like, you need to tone it down a bit. This High Five, like, hijacks every single scene he's in, and he's super annoying when he does it. He's constantly in people's faces. He's conceded to high degrees of annoyance. And there's even a part where he sort of dies. Where he doesn't die, he gets taken to the trash. And I'm not lying, guys. In the theater, I was cheering. I was like, yes, he's gone. We're never gonna see this character again. All of a sudden, man, Gene has to be the freaking hero. And it's like, no. We must go back for him. We must go to the trash bin and save him before he gets deleted. And I'm like, no! Leave him in the trash. Let him rot. Please, let's not go back. And he's like, he's my friend. We must save him. Like, you're his friend? Where in the film did you both, like, form this sort of unspoken bond to where you guys are friends? The only reason High Five is helping you, is because he wants to get back into the human character's favorites list. That's it. He didn't do it because he felt a sort of connection or calling, or he really liked you. He did it for selfish reasons. And it's not like you guys ever formed any sort of bond in this journey. You spoke like 5 times, and most of it was just High Five speaking about himself. So yeah, they go and save him, which was so painful. I wish they just left him to die. But no, he has to be part of the journey. And he just annoyed the crap out of me. Not only that, he's so fucking useless. What does he do in this film? Besides, like, getting the main character out of Texopolis and, like, going on their journey to go make him met again, that's it. He does nothing else in the story. He does not contribute at all. And then Wild Style, or 99-cent version Wild Style, I wanted to like her. I really did. But here's the problem with her. She is a walking stereotype. And she's a fucking feminist agenda. Like, I don't know if you guys saw on my Twitter and Facebook, but I put on my Twitter and Facebook, leave your goddamn feminist agendas out of the Emoji Movie. This is the wrong place at the wrong time, and it's so inappropriate that it's insulting. And what do I mean by the feminist agenda? So basically, 99-cent version Wild Style is an emoji. She's the princess emoji. And there's this running gag where, well, not running gag, but like this running bit where both Gene and the High Five emoji were saying, like, oh, when you whistle, do birds come? And she's like, actually, that's pretty sexist, and, you know, I don't have to do that. And there was this one thing where, oh god, and this was actually something that was brought up a couple months ago when dealing with emojis and stuff, where some feminists got mad because they didn't like how there were, like, princess emojis and all that stuff. They felt like they were they were genderizing the emojis. But the irony is that the feminists themselves were genderizing the emojis. Emojis by nature do not have a gender. They don't. No one's like saying, hey, that's a female emoji, that's a male emoji. Emojis are built to be gender neutral. That's why they have no features. Unless built otherwise, they are gender neutral. So when you see an emoji, like if there's a princess emoji, it's purposely a princess emoji. Oh, hi Mila. Say hi. Mila? Okay. She doesn't want to say hi. Ooh. Okay, I'm back. Anyway, so unless built otherwise, most emojis are gender neutral. And the fact that they even brought up the idea of emojis being gendered is just for the birds. It has no purpose in the film, and it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. And it's not like it's brought up again as a big thing, like this big reveal. It just felt like it was shoehorned in. And that's why I say like this film is a perfect representation of this generation. It's like it's modern feminism and done really poorly. Modern feminism done really poorly. Okay, what else? The poop emoji. Voice. Oh, you want to? My heart broke a little bit when they were playing the credits, and then they finally got to Sir Patrick Stewart. They even titled him as Sir Patrick Stewart as the poop emoji, as to drive the knife even deeper in. They have to blatantly point out that he is knighted and he is voicing literally a piece of shit. My heart did break to see his name, Sir Patrick Stewart, as the poop emoji. I hope the money was worth it. I hope the money was worth it, Professor X. Because if it wasn't, man, oh, shame on you. Shame on you for ruining your name by attaching it to this project. The main villain of the film is the smile emoji, the really smiley girl, and she's always happy and stuff like that, voiced by Maya Rudolph. And let me say this, every voice actor does pretty well. In fact, I would say that that's another strong thing about the film, is that the voice actors, although they know that they're in a terrible film, they don't half-ass it. They actually deliver. They actually deliver in their performances, and I'm proud of that. They know that they're not in the best movie in the world, but they're like, well, fuck it. I mean, even if we're in the worst movie of all time, we might as well put some effort, right, into this. So they actually tried, and they made the best of a terrible situation, basically. So she's the main villain, and as much as I will say at some point she did come off as threatening, I was just, again, annoyed by her. I did not like her character. Oh, okay, I'm trying to think of what else to point out. Oh, like, another thing I didn't like about the film is that they would go on so many different detours, and they would go on these detours just so that they can throw in another reference or another product. Like, they had to cut through Just Dance, and I'm like, why do you have to cut through Just Dance? I'll tell you why you have to cut through Just Dance, because guess what? They paid to be in the film, and you want to make sure that you advertise. The film is just a huge advertisement for different apps, for using phones, for emojis, and it's so obvious that it's painful. Unlike, the Lego movie, where they were very smart, witty, and creative with their product placement. I mean, the whole film is a product placement for Lego film, or for Legos. But it doesn't come off of that because they decide to tell a story first. It was story first, product placement last. And it never felt like it was this push for, like, hey, go buy Legos, even though the film is a push to convince you to go buy Legos. But the film is so well done, you don't even notice it. With this one, I couldn't help but feel like they're constantly telling me, hey, you need a Facebook app. Hey, you need a Dropbox. Hey, go get Just Dance. Hey, Emoji Edition. Get some new emojis. I swear to God, they're going to be selling some new emojis just to promote the Emoji Movie. They're going to do the Gene emoji, where it's like multiple emojis at the same time. Oh my God. Pandering, soulless corporate shit. That's what this film is. I can't emphasize that enough. I've said that for the last 24 minutes. I was hoping this movie would be decent, so I'll shut people up. I I was hoping for it to be decent too, but I wasn't fooling myself. I knew this was gonna be bad, and I know many people might say like this film. Okay, Avatar Juan, well played with the with all the emojis there. I know many people are gonna say like, well, Tony, calm down. This is for kids. You know, kids are supposed to enjoy this, and you know what? Fine. But the problem is that the film doesn't only kind of pander to kids, but it panders to teenagers too, and kind of insults them in a sense. Because the way that they represent teenagers in this film, while you may say that it's accurate, I do feel like it's a bit insulting because they generalize teenagers in this film to a terrible degree. I will say there was this one funny shot where these two guys are like texting and then they bump into each other, they fall down, they laugh, and then they actually take pictures of themselves. And I'm like, you know what? I would say that that's totally unrealistic, but in this day and age, that's very realistic. People will literally hurt themselves and then film themselves getting hurt. So, but I wanted a much more three-dimensional teen character, and I wish that the human characters played a much more prevalent role in the film. It would have been interesting to see how they would interact with the emoji world and all that stuff, and you know, kind of have some type of personality. The problem is that the main human character in the film is such a stoic, bland, generic teenager type who just cares deeply about girl or really likes this one girl and all that stuff. And he's just a cardboard cutout of just any given teenager character. He has no personality, has no wit, and just gets embarrassed. That's his whole purpose, is just to get embarrassed constantly. But he doesn't really stand out that much. What else is there I don't even know what else I want to talk about the film, or what else is there to talk about the film. I mean, it's everything you would expect it to be. It's uninspired, it's uncreative, they put no effort into it. It is a corporate mess of a film. Some guy in corporate was like, we need to really jump on this Lego movie trend and do something with, what's something we could do? Oh, let's do emojis. Let's make them into a film. And here's a little nitpick I have. I'm not gonna hold this against the film, but something I found annoying is, why do they give them legs and arms? I thought it would have been pretty interesting if they were just heads and they were like bouncing around or rolling around or something like that. I think that would have been funny or something interesting. It would have been very different, you know? But instead, it's just like, no, throw in those very skinny arms and legs and stuff, and boom, we got our emoji characters. So overall, what do I think of the film? I mean, I kind of made it clear. It's a bad film. It's clearly a bad film. But it's not like a bad film that knows it's a bad film. It's a bad film that's trying desperately to convince you it's not that bad. Guys, it's not that bad, you know? We have some good things, but the truth of the matter is it's a waste of time. It's just not worth seeing. And that's what it is. It's an unnecessary waste of time. We all know that it's bad, so why even go to the theater and watch it? You know it's shit. Just don't waste your time. Don't waste $12 to see this film. Don't spend money to see this film. If you could find any other means to see this film, just do it. Where you don't have to spend money. Like, Jack's Films got really lucky. He got invited to the world premiere of the Emoji Movie, and I really cannot wait to see his review. I hope it's entertaining. Probably be more entertaining than my video right now. But yeah, it's just, oh my god, the Emoji Movie. I was gonna say you let me down, but I'm like, you didn't let me down. You were exactly what I thought you were. You were the poop emoji to the nth degree. That's what you were. And I did enjoy some parts, but those small parts made up about 0.1% of the film. Wasn't even worth it. One of the most cringeworthy lines and scenes is where Mrs. Meh and Mr. Meh meet up in one of the human characters' Instagram pictures, and it's France, and they kind of hook up with each other, and then as they're walking away, Mr. Meh says, "We'll always have Paris." I'm like, oh god, really? Cringe. Alright, so for the next 10 minutes, I will answer any questions you guys have about the Emoji Movie. If there's anything you want me to say, I'll give away spoilers. I don't care. Ask me any questions that you have about the Emoji Movie or anything you guys want to say. Are you looking forward to the Emoji Movie? That's a better question. I'm curious. Who here in the comment section is looking forward to the Emoji Movie? And wow, I have 205 viewers right now. That's crazy. Okay, well, I have this many viewers. We have to reach 100 likes. Come on, guys. Can we get to 100? Let's get to 200 likes. Can you do that for me? Do it for me. I'm sweating like a motherfucker over here. So, are you looking for? Did Sony know about the purpose of the eggplant emoji? Well, the eggplant emoji only shows up for like 2 seconds in the film, so he's not even around. Was the ending bad? The ending is as cliche as a kid's movie ending could possibly be. Everything's all hunky-dory at the end, although they do the whole thing where, again, going back to Wreck-It Ralph, okay, the ending is basically, the phone is being reset, and they're going to be wiped out. It's kind of like the ending of Wreck-It Ralph, where the game, Sugar Rush, is gonna be destroyed, and all that's left is Vanellope, and before it gets destroyed, Wreck-It Ralph comes and saves the day. That's basically it. And another thing too, they purposely go to Candy Crush in this movie. Candy Crush. And I'm like, God damn it, guys, please no, please no. They did it. They did Candy Crush, and pointlessly did Candy Crush. If there was a person going to Candy Crush, I would have been fine. But no, it just in Candy Crush. That's all it is. Okay, let's see. I saw a good question here earlier. Did the teenagers bring a purpose in this? Nope. Teenagers were just there to be cannon fodder teenagers. Are you going to see Valerian? That's not a question about the Emoji Movie. Oh, okay. Here's an interesting question from Alberto Productions. What did I think about the Hotel Transylvania short? It was okay. That one was meh. The problem I had with the short is that it had a beginning and a middle, but it did not have an end. It ended so abruptly that it was kind of... It felt kind of half-assed like the movie that would come after it. I hate Sony more than Illumination. At least they have the minions being cringy. Let's see. Alright guys, any questions pertaining to the Emoji Movie? Someone actually asked me in the comments earlier, like, was the theater crowded? No, I mean, Guam has pretty small theaters, so it doesn't really get crowded. There were actually a couple people in the film, which surprised me. I did not expect anybody to be in there. I thought I was going to be by myself. And I was like, nope. There were some families there. There was an old man sitting next to me, which was kind of weird. Is it like Inside Out? I saw an article, I think it was by AV Fan or AV Club, that compares this film to Inside Out. It compares it to Inside Out dipped in like toxic waste. And although I do kind of see some comparisons to Inside Out, I don't think that is a appropriate comparison, because Inside Out is basically about the mind and all that stuff, whereas this one takes place on an app. So it would be more comparable to a Wreck-It Ralph or to a Lego Movie. Yes, Mila?
Have you seen Clea Jacob?
I have not. Is he not in the room? Say hi.
He's not in the room.
Say hi. That's my little cousin Mila, so... but I don't think it's comparable to Inside Out. I think it's more comparable to the Lego Movie and Wreck-It Ralph. Best part about the film. The best part about the film, as I mentioned earlier in this video, was freaking Mr. and Mrs. Meh. They were the best parts of this film. They were the funniest. They had the funniest lines. They had the best deliveries. And they picked the best people to voice these characters. As I said before, Stephen Wright was perfect casting to play Mr. Meh. There is not a better person in this world, besides maybe Ben Stein, who could portray Mr. Meh better. Like, it was so perfect that I almost had faith that this film was good. Almost. Not like extremely, but almost, because if they could cast someone as perfect as Stephen Wright to play Mr. Meh, maybe this film has something to offer. Not really. What was the worst part about the film? The worst part about the where to be? I can't say there's only a one worst part. I think there's worse parts. There's multiple parts I think were terrible. Every scene with the teenagers were awful. Like, they have no character to them. They're just static, paper thin, cliche teenage characters. Like that whole thing where they were on the river, or they actually went to Spotify. Straight up called out Spotify. Hey, we're in Spotify, and they're riding the music stream. There's this whole conversation that Jean and Jailbait have, or Jailbreak have. Is it Jailbait or Jailbreak? I think it's Jailbreak, because it's a reference to, jailbreaking a phone. That Jean and Jailbreak have, and Jailbreak's like, did you know that one of the first emojis ever created was the princess emoji and all that stuff? Like, that's really sexist. I'm like, fuck you. Okay, get off your high horse with that shit. Would the Emoji Movie be better if it were an anime? Nope. If everything was the same besides the style of animation, it still would be bad. It's not good. Every scene with high five annoyed the shit out of me, and those are probably the weakest parts of the film, because it's literally desperate humor. It's like, hey guys, look how really silly and crazy this character is. Isn't he funny, guys? No, he's not funny. He's just painfully annoying, and he needs to shut up or die. One of those things, and he does neither of them. Would the Emoji Movie be better if it did not exist? Yes, it would be 10 times better. The whole movie is desperate. Yes, the whole movie is a desperate attempt to pander to teens and kids, and it fails on every level. Was the film worse than Ghost in the Shell or Ghost in the Shit? No, because like I said, there were things I actually liked about this film, and I didn't feel insulted by this film. Ghost in the Shell, I was very insulted by. This one, I just didn't really care. It's just like, I knew what to expect. I knew going in that the film wasn't going to be good. I knew it was going to be number 2. A cash grab, basically. Yes, this film is a huge cash grab. Do not be fooled. It is a cash grab in every sense of the word. Hold up. There we go. Let's see. The movie has a 0% on Rotten Tomato. I'm not surprised. It'll probably go up. Did the two characters fall in love? What do you think? Come on. It's a cliche animated kids film. What do you think happens at the end? Of course they fall in love. In the most forced way possible. There's no convincing. The only convincing bond or relationship in this film was between Mr. and Mrs. Meh. Again, I can't help but want them to be the main characters of this film. If they were the main characters, I may have liked this film. Maybe even found it decent. But nope, we have to follow their shithead of a son, Mr. Gene. And by the way, am I the only one that feels like they missed a perfect opportunity to name the main character, who's supposed to be a meh icon, Mel? Why couldn't his name be Mel? Mel the meh emoji. See, how is it that I'm being more creative about this film than the people who actually made this film? Why am I doing their work? Like, seriously. I guess another thing I will say too is that the concept could work. I hear a lot of people that, they complain about the fact that some films, they copy certain concepts. Like one of the biggest complaints I heard about The Secret Life of Pets is that it's so much like Toy Story. Oh, it's a rip-off of Toy Story. I'm like, no, it's not. It just takes a similar concept like Toy Story and then goes a different direction with it, And that's what this film is. It could have been, they took the concept of the Lego Movie and Wreck-It Ralph, but they took it in a different direction. But that's not the case. They don't. They follow it almost verbatim, both films. Would this film have been better if Lord and Miller made it? I don't think they would have ever made this film. They would have understood that this concept would not have worked, and it would have been a disaster. So, Emoji, the pandering of a generation. Yep. Let's see. You think there's gonna be a sequel? Please, God, no. Don't make there be a sequel. All right, guys, I'm reaching the final second, so thank you all for watching. Again, this will not be a reoccurring thing. Hopefully, I won't be doing this often. I only wanted to do this because a lot of you wanted me to go watch the Emoji Movie, and so I did it just for you guys, and I wanted to get this review out as soon as possible, and I wouldn't be able to do that with the slow internet that I have. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. It was a 40-minute rant, and there's still so much to talk about, but it's just, at the end of the day, it's uninspired, uncreative, desperate pandering bullshit. That's what the Emoji Movie is in a nutshell. And should you go watch it? Absolutely not. Even if you had kids. There are many kids films that are out right now on Blu-ray or in the theater. I would rather you go watch Beauty and the Beast. Let that sink in. A remake of a movie I love to death and I refuse to see. I'd rather you watch that than the Emoji Movie. Think about that. Anyway, I'm gonna be spending the day at the beach with my family. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope to do more reviews soon, so stay tuned for that. And as always, guys, if you'd like to see more videos on this channel, be a part of the Black Critic Crew, please hit that subscribe button below. Like this video if you really enjoyed it. And I'm Tony Wild II, the Black Critic Guy, sweating like hell here in Guam as the Black Critic Guy. Till then, peace, YouTube. Hate the Emoji Movie.